Hello, welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger on July 31st, 2021. I'm wearing my uniform, my gi, open front today. Normally, I don't wear it this way, as you guys know. Most of the time, I have it all belted up and all neat and tight. But it is kind of hot, and I figure if I'm going to be standing here making a video, I might as well be semi-comfortable while remaining semi-professional looking. So yeah, that's why it's open chest today. Uh, Now, as I said, it's quite hot here in British Columbia. We're getting hit with another heat wave. Last time, back in June, when we got hit with our first heat wave, we lost 570 people to the heat, and most of those were seniors, elderly people. So I feel that before I go into today's session, I need to really, again, encourage everybody, please, when the weather is hot, make sure you drink water, drink water, drink water. And make sure you try to stay cool, keep the fan on, keep the window open. Uh, Although right now, because of the air quality being so bad, you might not want to keep your window open. And don't forget, getting in a car, even if it's a taxi cab, call a taxi, call Uber, call Lyft, and getting in the public library, go pay a couple of bucks and getting the public swimming pool. Now that restrictions are lifted, the pools are open, go find a friend, a neighbor who has an outdoor pool, anything like that, garden hose, anything like that. Okay, there are many ways to stay relatively cool, even though most of us don't have air conditioner. But water is going to be your best friend. Drink it, sit in it, soak in it. Right? Um, I actually thought about showing you guys how you can actually take your t-shirt or your gi and soak it in cold water and then put it on, and that will keep your body temperature nice and low for a little while. Um, but I decided against it because I didn't want to be standing here talking and dripping all over the floor. But that is the way to do it. Okay. Uh, in the ancient days, in Chinese, in China, for Chinese people, a lot of time when weather gets really hot, people will take soaking wet bed sheet and spread them on a bamboo table or bamboo chair, and then they will just sit there or lay it there, uh, being kept cold by this wet sheet uh, while they read or take a nap or eat. So yeah, remember that here in Canada, water, cold water anyway, it's free. Don't squander it, but don't be shy about using it to keep yourself sane and safe in this really hot temperature. Now, that sound you heard was me demolishing a footstool with my shin. Uh, okay, fine. That sounded a lot more impressive than it actually was. It was me tripping over the darn footstool. Okay, yeah. But hey, that was a very nice save. I didn't even stumble. I didn't even break stride. So anyway, I count that as a win against the footstool. Uh, Served me right for walking around while being on camera. Anyways, yesterday, as some of you might have known, uh, I have done a presentation, a self-defense presentation virtually for the Camp Bowen Society for the Blind, and we have gotten some very common very basic, very interesting questions from the audience. So I thought today, rather than going with our regular flow, I'm going to recap some of those questions and give the answer to those of you who weren't there for the presentation. Oh yeah, by the way, some of you might have noticed that Toy Thursday was missing. Actually, I did make Toy Thursday, but for some reason the video ended up being defective. It wouldn't let me upload it. YouTube wouldn't process it. It was just no good. So either later today or tomorrow, I'm going to do Toy Thursday over again, and we'll upload that. The first question I want to address that was asked yesterday was, what's the difference between martial art and self-defense? This can either be a very long answer or very short. I'm going to try to keep it short because most of you that have been watching my channel to this point probably heard me talk a lot about this before. In short, uh, to learn self-defense, it's like learning how to fix the plumbing in the house. It's like learning how to put in a light bulb when a light bulb burns out. It's like knowing how to fix a window, replace the window pane. It's like knowing how to hang up a picture. It's like knowing how to fix the closet door, how to replace the lock. On the other hand, learning martial arts is like learning how to build a house from the ground up, even including how to design a house, how to make the blueprint, what make a house stand, how to make the walls strong, etc., etc., etc. So as you can imagine, learning martial art, becoming good at martial art, takes a lot longer than getting good at self-defense. Just like learning how to build a house, how to make a house good, how to build it, it's a lot longer than just learning how to fix the plumbing, how to put in the light bulb. And it all depends. There's no good or bad about either one. Uh, it's depending on everyone's needs and preferences. If you feel that your life needs a purpose, that you want a hobby, that you want to one day be able to build great houses for people, then learn how to build a house. But if all you want to do is, hey, no, I don't have time to mess around with building a house. I don't ever want to build a house. I just want to know how to install the light bulb. I just want to know how to fix the plumbing. Well, then you learn self-defense. So, in other words, if you want to invest your life into something really worthwhile that you can pass on to other people, that you can build strong foundation in your physical self, in your character, in your mental capacity, and at the same time appreciate history, culture, and other aspects of martial art, then you will invest years into learning martial art. But if you just want a quick fix, if you say, okay, I don't care about all that other stuff. I just want to get fit, or I just want to be able to defend myself on the street. That's all. I don't need all that culture. I don't need all that history. I don't need to know who invented this and why it's done this way. I don't need to know why we wear a gi. I don't care about that part. Then you need to learn self-defense. So that's the short version of the difference between martial art and self-defense. The next question I get asked, and this is one that I get asked really often, is uh, This was asked by a lady, and she said, "What is a good martial art for ladies, for women?" My answer to this, if any of you ever thought about that, if you think I'm a small guy, what's a good martial art for small guy? I'm a blind person, what's a good martial art for blind person? I'm a woman, what's a good martial art for woman? This is all the same answer. No? The answer is don't think of it in terms of what martial art is good for a group of people. Think smaller. Think what martial art is good for me. Because not every woman is the same. Not every man is the same. Not every blind person is the same. Some women have long legs and great balance, and they can run really fast. They can kick really high, and so taekwondo and kickboxing might be good for them. And then some other women, they might have big upper body, wide shoulder, strong arms. They can be good at grappling and judo and stuff like that. And some women, they don't like to get close to people. They don't like that close proximity you get in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Judo. Then for them, maybe boxing or karate is a good alternative. So everyone is different. You can't, if someone tell you this is a premier martial art for all blind people, there's a premier martial art for all women, this person is sadly delusional because not everyone's the same. Okay, there's going to be some people that premier martial art is not going to work for. Just like even though we like to say Krav Maga is the best martial art for counter-terrorism, self-defense, counter-offensive, military application, but not all the military in the world learn Krav Maga. There's some the Korean military learn Taekwondo. Uh, Chinese military learn something else. Japanese military learn something else. They don't all have to learn Krav Maga. They don't all agree with what we do in Krav Maga. Right? So think of it in terms as for yourself. And to help you figure out what is the best martial art for you, ask yourself the three questions. One, what am I learning this for? Am I just bored and I want something to do? Do I just want to get fit? Do I just want to do this for self-defense? Or do I want to socialize and network with good people? Or am I looking for a new hobby? Or do I just think it's really, really cool to know martial art? Ask yourself what you want to do it for, because depending on what you want to use it for, it's easier to narrow down the martial art of your choice. And second, ask yourself, uh, what am I good with? What am I good with? Do I have strong arms? Do I have bad balance? Do I have strong legs? Can I lift a lot of weight? Or maybe I'm really quick? What am I good with? Because if you say to yourself, I'm really, really quick and I have good balance, then okay, no, then maybe you can look at something that where balance and quickness is an asset, and that definitely actually includes things like kickboxing, boxing, taekwondo, and maybe even judo. But if you say I don't have very good balance, but I'm very strong, well, I can wrestle very good on the ground, then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or some kind of wrestling will be up your alley. And third, you want to ask yourself, how much am I willing to put into this? How much? Am I thinking about a short-term plan, or am I thinking about something I wish I can do for the rest of my life? Because if your goal is a short-term plan, I just want to get fit and I'll quit. I just want to learn how to defend myself and I'll quit. Then you probably don't want to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which takes a lot longer to perfect than a lot of other martial arts. You probably don't want to get into Chinese Kung Fu, which again would take ages, years and years before you really know what you're doing. Uh, But if you think, okay, I want to find something to believe in, I want to find like a new religion. Oh, okay. Well, then in this case, you want to look into martial arts that have longevity, uh, karate, uh, even taekwondo, um, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, kung fu, wing chun. Those more traditionally based martial arts, they will let you go for years and years and years and never run out of things to study. So ask you these three questions and then jump onto Google and see what's available to you locally. What's available to you locally. Of course, you also want to consider finance. How much are you willing to pay? In addition to those, uh, we also got some more technique or situational relevant questions that I will answer in today's video. One, the easiest, is how do I escape? How do I deal with someone grabbing my wrist? Let's say someone's getting aggressive and they grab my wrist. Wrist grabbing and wrist grab escape is got to be like the first course meal for almost every self-defense instructor out there. Every time you see a self-defense seminar, you're going to learn a new way to escape someone grabbing your wrist. And the problem is there's hundreds and hundreds and a gazillion different angles and pulls and tugs and moving your hand this way, moving your body this way, yada yada yada. There's a literally a gazillion of these techniques just to escape someone grabbing your wrist. I like to say I don't like to teach technique, I like to teach principles because techniques are hard to remember. Principles are easy. As long as you know what the objective is and you get it done, I don't care how you get it done. So, with that in mind, if someone were to grab your wrist, I say don't worry about all these twists and turns and pulls and complicated arm locks and complicated wrist locks. Don't worry about any of this. Okay? I will show you the easiest, quickest way to deal with someone grabbing your wrist. When someone grabs your wrist, let them have it. Okay? Let them have it. What do I mean by let them have it? Well, I mean let them have your wrist. Leave it alone, okay? It's okay. Grab my wrist. Go on. You can have it. You can have it because I don't need that. I don't need that. The moment you grab my wrist, my other hand go for the eye. My other hand go for the nose. My other hand go for the throat. My other hand go for the groin. My other hand go for the forearm. Right? As long as you hold on to me, I'm just going to keep attacking you until you let go. I'm going to punch, jab, chop, slam, stomp, knee, elbow. I'm going to mess you up so badly that you have to let go of me. If you grab my right wrist, my left hand go to work on your face and throat, and your groin, and my knee going to your groin, my shin going to your shin, my foot going to your shin. I stomp on your toe, I elbow you in the gut. Okay? If you grab my left hand, and my right hand go to work on you, right? If you grab both of my hand and my foot, I am stomping for the shin, I stomp for the knee, I knee for the groin, I knee for the kidney, until you let go. The objective is to make them want to get away from you, rather than focusing on that how to escape from that wrist grab. So the moment you feel them grabbing you, this applies to wrist grab, this applies to collar grab, lapel grab, this applies to someone grabbing your arm, this applies to someone grabbing your neck. The moment you feel that, go on the attack. Make them understand that as long as they hold on to you, you will mess them up. And that is the quickest way to release yourself from anyone's grip. Next, another question was, if I cannot see, if I cannot see, how can I know where to attack? This is a very common question. And yet, when you really think about it, the answer is surprisingly easy. Because anytime your opponent, your enemy, grabs you, hits you, pushes you, or chokes you, it establishes a connection between you and whatever they're touching you with. And as blind people, our spatial awareness, our physicality awareness is very, very good. In another word, if I shake someone's hand, right? If I'm standing this distance, shaking someone's hand, even though I can't see it, I know where his chest is. I know where his head would be. I know where his groin is going to be just by feeling his hand. Because hand is connected to wrist, wrist is connected to forearm, forearm is connected to upper arm is connected to shoulder, shoulder is connected to chest, chest is directly in line with head and with groin. So for anyone who might be doubtful and say, if you can't see them, you can't hurt them, I tell you, then you need to work on your awareness of human anatomy and spatial awareness. Because once you get that down pat, you will be able to instantly tell finger, if someone poke a finger at your chest, you will instantly be able to know where the shin is, where the knee is, where the groin may be. Okay? You're not going to have 100% accuracy, but it is possible to achieve about 95, 96% accuracy just based on that instant connection with the body part. Next up, someone asked me, how do I deal with it if the person grabbed me from behind when I'm out for a walk? Eh? This is, again, where that anatomy, understanding of anatomy come into play. When someone grabs you from behind, you have that connection. In another word, when a person grabs you, even though you can't turn around, you can't see them, you know where the leg is. Stump back on the shin, elbow back into the groin, hammer back into their groin, back fist into their face. Or, very simple, we talked about this before. If they grab me from behind, I take my knuckle and boom, hit the back of their hand, break the bones there, or at the very least, make them relinquish their grip. Okay? Once as that connection is established, no matter if it's the front, in the back, I know where they are. I know where to hit them. Next one. This one came in a form more of a comment than a question, but I think it's worth mentioning. This lady said, I don't know any martial art or self-defense, and every time I hear a sound in my house, I take a baseball bat and go investigate, even though I have no idea how to use a baseball bat. This is something very, very common for people who don't know self-defense. They carry a baseball bat, a golf club, a hockey stick, or something like that. When they think there's the danger, they go and they arm themselves with the heaviest, blunt, long weapon and go investigate. Don't do that. Okay? This might be okay if you have some eskrima training, if you have some Krav Maga training, if you have some Kali training. If you are a baseball player, you already know how to handle that bat. Huh? If you are a lumberjack, you you know how to swing an axe or a hammer all day. You're a construction worker. That's okay, right? But for those of you who are saying, oh, I don't know, I'm a housewife, I'm 100 pounds soaking wet, I don't know self-defense, so when I hear a noise in the kitchen, I'm going to arm myself with a baseball bat and go investigate. Uh, if you do run into an intruder, a 200 pound, 250 pound intruder, that baseball bat is going to be more problem for you than for the guy. Let me show you why. I don't really have a baseball bat here, but I have my foam roller, right? Which is really big. It's really light. So now imagine this was a blunt weapon of sort, a big club that you can bash someone's head in. Right? It would feel really safe if you were armed with this and you hear someone in the kitchen breaking in. You're armed with something long and heavy like this. You think you can bash their head in? No. Why? Because without any kind of training, you wouldn't understand that you need to be at optimum distance, which means the person have to be near the end of your stick. So at the tip of your stick, you have to hit them with a tip for this to even work. You wouldn't know that the moment you get too close, then you swing, it's going to just piss them off. It's not going to stop them. You wouldn't know how to extract yourself if the person wrapped their arm around your stick and suddenly you're in a wrestling contest. There's too much you don't know how to do. You don't know how to control this. You don't know how this is supposed to be used in combat. Not to mention, with something big and blunt and heavy, it takes energy to swing, which means a few swings you will get tired, especially when you're in a stressful situation. So, I said this before, I will say this again. If you are not very well trained or not trained at all with your self-defense, then please consider, if you're in the US, yeah, of course you can get a gun, but any other part of the world, a knife, a knife, a meat fork, anything with a sharp point, anything with a sharp point. Why? Because there's no overt science behind it. Anything with a sharp point. It doesn't matter if I'm really I mean, it matters. I mean, if I'm really well trained, then I'm better with this. But even if I'm not well trained, if I'm not trained at all, as long as I understand the pointy end going to the person, whatever the person put or swing toward me, the pointy end going to it. Whatever the person trying to do, rushing me, the pointy end going to it. That's it. Okay, that's it. You don't need to worry about how to swing it. You don't need to worry about how to get the best leverage. Pointy end going to your enemy, like it said in Zorro. Okay, so I know this is like some people are going to get freaked out and say, "Oh my God, well I don't want to kill him." Well, what do you think he's going to do to you when you come at him with a baseball bat? He's going to take that baseball bat away and kill you with it. So honestly, get something pointy. And let me show you. We've done this before, where if you hit someone really hard with a blunt object, if you fail to knock them out or break something, they'll keep coming at you because they don't want you to hit them again. They will keep coming forward and try to take that away from you. Once they take that away from you, they'll hit you with it. Something pointy is different. Okay? People shy away from jabbing, penetration blood. So even if I don't want to kill the person, right? If the person puts their hand on me and I go like this, I jab into their hand, jab into their hand, I grab onto their hand, jab, 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 jab into their hand. They'll not want to do that again. They'll leave me alone. They'll go away. If every time they even come near, I jab into them. Every time they come near, I jab into them. Right? Don't do this big outside swing. Don't do this big wide swing. Keep it close to your body. Keep it close to the body. Yeah, because if it's close to your body, it's harder for them to take it away from you because they have to come close. And when they come close, you just keep firing into them. Okay? So a sharp instrument, a fork, a knife, anything sharp, work a lot better than a baseball bat. Not to mention, unless you live in a mansion, unless you live in a huge house, a baseball bat, you don't have much room to swing that in the hallway. You'll end up messing up your own home. Right? A knife, a fork, something sharp, it doesn't require that much room. You can stay in bed and you can still use that. Last but not least, our last question was this one lady said she's only 5 foot tall, almost everyone's taller than her. How can she defend herself in that case if she gets attacked? Right. Simple. Human body is very evenly distributed. There's a lot of uh, vulnerable points. There's a lot of vulnerable points up here around the face and head and chest. But there's also a lot of vulnerable points down here below the belt. So let's say I'm this short. I just dropped down on my knee. So my head only come up to like Bruce's solar plexus. All right, so that's really big height difference. So that like if I'm 5 foot tall, that means Bruce here is like 7 foot tall, right? Approximate that. So this is a huge guy coming at me. 7 foot guy. I'm 5 foot little Chinaman. 7 foot guy coming towards me. How do I deal with this? Well, easy. Boom! Straight punch right into the groin. Straight punch right into the elbow into the groin. Elbow into the inside of the thigh. Elbow into the kneecap. And I can't really do it because I'm kneeling, but if I was standing, stomp right into the shin, stomp right onto the toe, knee into the shin and ankle. Okay, I don't care how big you are. If I have access to your legs, if I have access to your groin, if I have access to your stomach, to your kidney, I will bring you down eventually. So being small, being short, should not be any kind of hindrance in a self-defense situation. Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. Like I said, later or tomorrow, I will come back and make up for Toy Thursday, the missing episode. Uh, but for now, hopefully you guys uh, enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you guys in a little while. For now, have a good rest of the day, and remember, make sure you stay nice and cool and hydrated in this weather.